дорогие подписчики моего канала, с вами я, Данил, и я продолжаю проходить игру genshin. Короче, ребят, у меня опять случилась история. Я смонтировал видео по genshin. Как поступить? А как меня слышно? Короче, ребят, я записал ролик по геншину с... мы там с Альхайтомом выследили кое-кого. Но я этот ролик смонтировал, а потом сам же его и удалил. Куда тебе до меня с 38 рангом-то, а? Так. Мы в зоне цели, да? Так.
That's close enough.
Живы до сих пор. Как бы исследовать-то исследовать, только я только два вижу.
Scatter!
Вот, серьезно. Я вижу только два. Это вот здесь вот. Так, ребят, я тут, и у нас... Так, мне нужно сначала сюда. Так.
Spring forth!
Ай! А это кто такие вообще, а?
Scatter! Propagate!
Так. 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 Я, конечно, все понимаю, но... Стоп. Что?
Scatter!
Что за хрень?
Scatter!
Так. Стоп. Это кто такой? Осторожнее.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait.
Huh?
You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
О,
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
да ладно.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
Тогда почему он стал таким?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone
Блять,
means that
я...
we might be too late.
Почему у тебя постоянно голос изменяется?
Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps... There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Следы?
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of... The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Опа-на! Неужели это капсула Архонта? Безумный пустынник. Какой нахер безумный пустынник, когда это, блядь...
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
А вас не волнует, А вас не волнует, что тот пустынник стал вести себя так из-за капсулы Архонта?
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to, as well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers.
Капец, конечно. Вот, блять, эти ученые из Академии просто твари. Они берут, они тырят капсулу, они покупают капсулы Архонтов от Доли и снабжают ее людей под видом терминала Акаши. А потом люди из этих капсул с ума сходят.
Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises.
Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret
and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
Что творит Академия, мать вашу?
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
Откуда тебе известно о подобных технологиях?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects.
Ни черта себе! То есть ты сказал специально, да, что у тебя нет доступа к информации, да, чтобы тебя не поймали?
Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process.
Ой, блядь, меня глючит. Ну ладно.
Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Нет, это не так. Большая часть этих безумных ученых в лесу входила в контакт с божественным созданием. Именно это и нужно Академии. Можно также предположить, что эти знания связаны с Фатуи и докторе и Скоромутий. Используя их, можно превратить Скоромутию в Архонта.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
Академии нужны лишь те, кто имеют отношение к божественному созданию.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to.
А вот Скоромучий идти а вот Скоромучий идти, блядь, получит за то, что делает.
However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules.
Ага, то есть в академии было правило на этот счет, да? А потом они начали устраивать этот беспредел. Но, ребят, внимание, вопрос. В академии в Сумеру должен был быть ректор. Но, внимание, вопрос. Куда этот ректор смотрит, а?
Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Твои мотивы... Так, подождите. Твои мотивы более специфичные и личные.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Пусть отрицает вселенскую справедливость и ответственность, он признает он признает сгуболичные мотивы. Быть может, именно такой человек будет лучшим союзником.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
Да-да-да, он чудак.
You're probably right.
Возможно.
Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Что? Просто у меня характер в целом покрепче, чем у нее. Не стоит уделять. Что у нее? Итак, что будем делать с ним?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru village.
Ой. Секунду. 27 минут снимаем. Так. Опа-на! Стоять! Назад, к статуе!
Aru village, please respect the local customs.
У меня, ребята, вопрос. Как так получилось, что у меня что у меня после боев с 40-ми хп упало? А кстати, так. Давайте попробуем кого-нибудь выбить. Райден, например. Прикрути меня, давай. Опа! Опа! И кто мне выпал? Копье Фафонио мне выпало, блядь. Сука! Мне выпало копье Фафонио. Ой, я думал, мало кто-нибудь, я думал, выпадет кто-нибудь. Так, еще раз. Вторая. Что еще? Всего. Да вы достали меня со своей дубиной. И третий. Давай. Давай. $413. Давайте примагемы мы потратим. Так, хватит с меня. Сейчас все потрачу.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst.
Так.
One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue.
У тебя есть загадки?
Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
А он-то тут при чем?
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
И какие же?
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Альхайтома, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
YouTube-то у меня откуда?
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra?
Генерал Махаматра. О! Ах ты ж
As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia?
Черт!
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
Нихера!
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation.
О,
The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from.
нихера.
Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Ну, тут каждый мог попасть в эту ловушку. Я к тому, что, блядь, мы... Я к тому, что мы в терминале Акаши тупо по 30 витков прожили.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the Academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
Место, где Сайна только что был. А где он только что был?
Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
Паймон, ты становишься умнее!
I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
А ты-то куда собрался?
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Хорошо.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
А кого нас не хватает? Так, 41 минута. Давайте-ка мы на этом-то и закончим. Всем большое спасибо за просмотр. С вами был я, Данил. Подписывайтесь на мой канал, комментируйте, ставьте лайки, нажимайте на колокольчик, ставьте все уведомления. Всем удачи и всем пока.